Johnny Mac here on Birds 365. Thanks for streaming on in. You can do us a solid and hit the like button if you're in a good mood. It's the holidays, isn't it? We got less than 3 weeks shopping left at Christmas. I think that's the case now. So,
Boy, do we?
yeah, Christmas is a Monday. Yesterday, I think, was 3 weeks out. So, yeah, we're getting dangerously close. So, share some holiday joy with your boys, Mac and Mac here on Birds 365. Like, share, and subscribe. Please hit that like button. All right.
Speaking of holiday joy, can I bring something up, Jody?
Sure.
Because I just saw your guy Mike Florio trying to stir the pot as he's wont to do. The NFL needs to send a clear and strong message about what isn't permitted when it comes to sideline personnel interacting with players during games. Obviously, this is about DiSandro and what happened in the 49ers game. You think they're going to do something with Big Dom?
Describe do something.
Keep them off the sidelines.
A lot of different ways you can.
I don't think they're going to force the Eagles to, they might force the Eagles to say, hey, he can't be on the sidelines for the rest of the season. So let's say that. Can't be on the sidelines.
For the rest of the season or forever?
Yeah, for the rest of the season.
I think it would be an overreaction, but if they did it, do I think it's the end of the world? No, and you have much more interpersonal reaction with Dom, and you talk as you do about him, how good a dude he is, and others that I know who have to deal with him more regularly say the same exact thing. He's just a tremendous kind of guy. Will it make any difference if he is or isn't on the Eagles sideline for the last 6 games?
No, not whatsoever. But that's what the NFL's about. Like if the right person makes enough noise, and Mike's the right person, and they think it's a thing.
So the Florio, I didn't see the post yet. So he's suggesting they should take and this would all come down to interpretation. Severe. I'm picking a word here that I probably shouldn't. What was Florio exactly? Since he's just suggesting the NFL look at it, is he suggesting a punishment as well?
He mentioned, and it's your guys. I don't know if you'll remember in 2010, because I don't remember this, but maybe you remember it. Former Jets strength coach Sal Alosi.
Oh yeah.
Created some kind of issue during a punt play. He tripped Nolan Carroll, former Eagle, on a gunner on a punt play. Now that to me is much more. That's much worse than what Dom did.
Agree.
You're
on the field of play.
Yeah, you're affecting the field of play. He was suspended for the rest of the season and the playoffs and fined $25,000. I don't think that's a good example.
No. It's kind of
apples, but that's the example he gave. Yeah, I assume they would just let it go and it would fester out on its own. Although Dom is very noticeable, obviously, and now people know who he is. Everybody knew who he was in Philadelphia, but outside of Philadelphia, I don't think many people knew him.
All right. No. So let me ask you. This is, I think, could be a fun debatable point. If you're the Eagles, do you want Dom to make a statement?
No. Well, one, he hates talking to, and I think Marcus went up to him because Marcus wrote a column after the game. And he tried to get Dom to talk in the locker room, and he said, I can't talk to you. And Marcus said, you can't or you won't. And he said, well, I can, but I don't want to. So,
yeah. Okay. And that's fine. But my question was, if there is contemplation of further action, that the Eagles think that, the commissioner's going to take a stance here because Mike Florio told them to, or anybody else told them to, and we really prefer to just see this thing go by the boards. if we get Dom out front and he says something along the lines of, hey, I'm a security guy. I was looking to de-escalate. That's just my nature. And I did something I shouldn't have done. I put my hands on a player. I have learned a tough lesson, and yeah, it kind of pained me to walk off the field that day because I wanted to at least be on the sidelines for my team. But I took a punishment that I earned and deserved. It will never happen again. Do you think a statement from the party who was guilty, as was Greenlaw and rightfully tossed, do you think that could persuade the NFL to not act?
No, because I think the NFL's reaction, and by the way, I'm not saying Roger Goodell listens to Mike Florio. The NFL is very, I always say they're very reactive. It's not a proactive organization. They're very reactive. So if they get the sense that it's becoming a thing and it's becoming a national story and it's becoming more of a national story because you got 49ers fans complaining about it. You got Kyle Shanahan saying, what the hell's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Now you got Dallas fans. What's going on? And all that nonsense. And you got Florio talking about it. So if they get the feel that it's becoming a thing, I always joke, South Park used to have a great joke about one complaint equals 1 billion people. These companies are insane. You know, you got one guy who screams and they think, oh my God. You know, if they just said, shut up, we're going to move on, it'd go away in however long the shelf life is. But they're not like that. And I just saw, and again, he's talking about Sal Losi and the Jets strength coach. And I think that's a bad thing. But Chris Palmer would be the hearing officer in game day operations. Evidently, he's the one in charge of people on the sidelines and all that kind of stuff. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. But and I acknowledge, and full disclosure, I like Dom. I get along with Dom, and you know that. It has nothing. He shouldn't have done what he did. But I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Right. It could be called here, but I do. Something you said intrigued me. He said, I don't think that Roger Goodell listens to Mike Florio. But you said the NFL listens to everybody. One complaint, he goes at that. Who does he listen to? Who do you think is the guy who actually could make Roger stop individually, take notice and go, oh, shoot, we got to deal with this right now? Florio, I'd really like to know who it is.
I don't think it's a person. It's more like an ecosystem. Like I always go back to where the NFL's troubles when it came to personal conduct all started with Ray Rice in Atlantic City, ironically. And there was no issue
because of video.
There was no issue until the video came out. Mm-hmm. And then he tried to re-legislate things, and double jeopardy came into it and all this kind of stuff. That's where they first stuck themselves, and they stuck their foot in it because they listened to the critics. Oh, how could you do that? How, instead of like I always say, back then marijuana was still illegal, and you had these dumb. It just drove me insane because the marijuana penalties, the substance abuse penalties, were collectively bargained, and they were structured.
Yep.
They were structured. There was no wiggle room either way. You bailed this, you're suspended this. You bail again, bang. Fine, suspension, games, very structured. The personal conduct policy, it's up to Roger Goodell.
Interpretation.
And ironically, that particular case, that's what the players want. They want them to look into things. Ray Rice's fiance at the time, who turned into his wife. I don't know if they're still married, but she said, she spoke on his behalf. It was an ugly incident. We all know the incident, but that's what the players want. And they listened to it. He never got in trouble before. He had a great reputation, and they suspended him 2 games. And if the video never came out, the players would have been happy and blah, blah, blah. But it came out, and they tried to change it. And you had all these arguments. Well, the NFL thinks smoking marijuana is worse than domestic violence. No, they don't. You're just an idiot and can't understand the difference between a structured policy that forces you to do something and a nebulous one, which can be anything, basically, and was a bad policy. So they listen to that kind of stuff too much, and they hear it and they get rabbit ears, and they think it's going to affect the bottom line, which nothing affects the bottom line in the NFL. They don't have to worry about anything. I talk all the time. They have the worst product in the world. It stinks. It's awful. Nobody turns it off. They love it. They're addicted. You don't have to worry about anything. Do what you want. But they listen. They got rabbit ears.
They may take that into consideration if they're going to do something above and beyond with Tom. That, we listen to McMullen. He said we can do whatever we want. Look at the TV ratings. Hey, Dom, see you later. Bye. You're gone for the year. I don't think that's going to happen, but you're right when you say they actually could if they wanted to. They have such a foolproof, bulletproof process and product right now. They could basically do whatever they want, and they wouldn't take a hit to the bottom line. All right, he's McMullen. I'm McDonald. We are Mac on Birds 365. We are scheduled to hear from one Chris Franklin from NJ.com next. And Chris isn't in the waiting room just yet. Where will he be? Will there be birds involved?
No, too cold. Way too cold.
I was outside this morning. It is a little bit cold. Doesn't he have an enclosed porch? Yeah, but I guess not. Maybe he's got a screened-in area out there. Chances are he'll be somewhere indoors. And Chris isn't a T-shirt maven like our boy tomorrow.
Mike's got the screened-in porch, but I think it's too cold
for him too. We shall see. Gil tomorrow. Chris Franklin from NJ.com scheduled to join us next here on Birds 365.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
We're here to show you a better way to spend your state income taxes and get the money to where it's needed to most to the thousands of qualified kids.
What we like about Blocks is they really know where the need is.
This program ensures that their dollars come 100% into these kids for their tuition assistance.
If you are able, Blocks makes the EITC piece go very quickly and very smoothly.
Turn your PA state tax liability into need-based